All right. Hello there, all. Hope you rocked your test. Hope we all do well. Sorry I couldn't be there. I'm here now. All right. Now, Chapter 7, we actually start with Section 6.1, even though we're talking about Chapter 7. So this is 6.1 video. Now, the reason being is we need to review some skills from Algebra 1 before we get rocking here in Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is a challenging chapter, so it's important we start strong, do well, and understand the skills before moving forward. So, exponent properties, or properties of exponents. Now, we're going to talk about, I always say the 7 rules, all right? There's actually 8, but one is just a combination of 2. So, the exponent rules. Now, these rules are going to kind of drive us all chapter. These are the rules we must follow if we want to be successful. So, the first one is a to the m power times a to the n power. Now, when multiplying two terms with the same base, we add the exponents. So they have the same base a in this point. So if it was like 2 to the third times 2 squared, it'd be 2 to the fifth. So we add the exponents. If we have a power raised to a power, we multiply the exponents. If you have 2 terms with an exponent, it's kind of like distributive property. You take that exponent to both pieces. All right, then you have a to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is 1. All right, anything to the 0 power is 1. You have a to the m divided by a to the n. So two numbers being multiplied with the same base. I'm sorry, not multiplied, divided with the same base, we subtract. Now, I sometimes refer to this as who wins. All right, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Now, our other rule, we have a divided by b, all raised to the power of m. You take that m to the numerator and the denominator. So a to the m over b to the m. All right, so really just distributive property also. And then you have a to the negative m power. Now, when you're not allowed to have negative exponents, so how we make it positive is we take it to the next level. So if it's in the numerator, we bring it down to the denominator. That makes it positive. If it's negative in the denominator, we move it up to the other level. And I refer to that as the bump trick. Because it bumps to the next level and becomes positive. And then this 8th rule is really a combination of these two here. All right, what it says is a over b to the negative m power. So you distribute that negative power to both. And then you need to switch levels in order for the exponent to become positive. All right, so those are our 7 rules, really 8. And this is kind of your guide. Keep this out when you're doing your homework tonight, when you're doing your homework tomorrow night, and moving forward for now. Because until you're completely comfortable with all these rules, this is kind of our template. This is what we obey by. All right, so now let's do some examples and see how this applies. So example 1, I have x to the 4th times x to the 3rd. I'm going to go example 2 is x to the 8th over x squared. Example 3 is going to be very similar to this one, but I'm going to go m squared over m to the 10th. And then example 4, I'm going to rock 2a squared b c to the 5th, all to the negative 3rd power. All right, now, these are kind of, let's say, the easy examples, I would say. And as we go through, we'll get a little more difficult. So, which rule does this apply to? Well, this is like our first rule when we're multiplying two numbers with the same base. We add the exponents, so we get x to the 7th. Again, you're going to get really good at these, that you can do it as quick as a snap of the fingers. All right, but to walk through it the first time, we'll show you. Now, x to the 8th divided by x squared, that is a subtraction one. All right, so x over 8 minus 2, which is x to the 6th. Now, I said sometimes I refer to this as who wins. Well, who wins, 8 or 2? 8 wins by 6, so x to the 6 would go on top. In number 3, who wins, 10 or 2? Well, 10 wins by 8, so m to the 8th goes on bottom. Okay, another way to think about it is, let's say you subtracted, and so you go m2 minus 10 gives me m to the negative 8th, and now we have to bump levels to make it positive. So either way, you get the same result. That's y, but the bump trick just kind of helps us speed up that process. All right, over here, number 4, we first have to distribute my negative exponent. So 2 to the negative 3rd. A, now power raised to a power that's multiplying. So now we're combining multiple rules into one problem. 2 times negative 3 is a to the negative 6th. B to the negative 3rd, C to the negative 15th. Now they're all negative, so we got to bump them to the next level. So 2 to the negative 3rd goes downstairs, 2/3. I'm sorry, 2/3. 2 to the 3rd power. A to the negative 6 gets bumped. B gets bumped below. C gets bumped below. We can simplify 2 to the 3rd further. So it's 8, A to the 6th, B to the 3rd, C to the 15th. All right, so that's the basic problems. Not so bad, right? What's awesome about this chapter is I can make it as easy or as difficult as we need to. So by combining these 7, 8 rules, we can get kind of crazy. So let's do a few harder examples. Let's start with this one. X squared, y to the 3rd, all to the 6th power, divided by x, y to the negative 2nd. Now, in tackling these, the first thing I recommend you do is get rid of all parentheses, get everything alone, get everything positive, and then go from there. So, let's distribute the 6 to everything. So, x squared to the 6th power, x to the 12th, y to the 18th, because 6 and 3 give me 18, x, y to the negative 2nd. So the first thing I did was get rid of parentheses. Now what I would do is get rid of all negative exponents. All right, so whoever's negative, we got to make positive. So this guy's good. He can stay. Y to the 18th can stay. That's all right. X can stay on the bottom here. However, y to the negative 2nd gets bumped up. All right, so now combine your y's. Y to the 18th times y squared, so you add the exponents. And who wins, 12 or 1? 12 wins by 11, so x to the 11th is on top, y to the 20th there. You could have done who wins here, I guess. 18 wins, beats negative 2 by 20, so y to the 20th is on top. So you could have jumped from the second step straight to this step once you get good. Okay, again, first time we're doing it. Whoa, what is that? Something we don't need. All right, we got a few more. Let's keep rolling along here. 6. Let's go x, y squared to the 3rd, all over x to the negative 5th y, times x to the negative 2nd y to the 10th, over 2 times x to the negative 2nd y to the negative 2nd. All right, so they can get pretty involved, but I'm going to move kind of fast on this one because I think we should be getting the hang of this. All right, so I'm going to mess with these parentheses first. X to the 3rd, y to the 6th. Now, since this is a multiplication problem, okay, we know it's just kind of like one big division bar. So I'm going to keep going. X to the negative 2nd, y to the 10th. On the bottom, I'm going to leave this side alone for now. I have a times 2 out here. Times, and I'm going to bring this x to the positive 4th, because negative 2 and negative 2, y to the negative 2nd. Now let's combine everything on top and everything on bottom and see where we're at. X to the 3rd and x to the negative 2nd is just x to the 1st. 6 and 10 give me 16. Over here, I'm going to put my number out in front. Negative 5 and 4 is negative 1. Y and negative 2 is negative 1. So my negatives are going to get bumped up. So the top's good, 2's good, x goes up, y goes up, and becomes positive. Combining your like terms, 1, 2 x's, 16 y's, 1 more y is 17 y's, all over 2. So we're just applying all that noise until we get a simplified answer. All right, one more for me, then you're going to try one on your own, and then we're done. All right, so what number are we on? That would be number 7. Number 7. I'm going to go big set of parentheses. 6x to the third, y to the negative 7th, z, all over 3x to the negative 5th, y, z to the negative 2nd, all raised to the negative 4th. Whew! Alright, so the first thing I want to do is get rid of all the parentheses. So take the negative 4 to everything. X to the negative 12th, y to the positive 28th, z to the negative 4th, 3 to the negative 4th, x to the 5th, negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20, y to the negative 4th, z to the positive 8th. Alright, so now let's make everyone positive. 6 is going to get bumped down. X to the negative 12th gets bumped down. Y stays home. Z moves down. 3 moves up. X stays home. Y moves up. Z stays home. 3 to the 4th is 81. Y to the 28th, y to the 4th gives me y to the 32nd. On the bottom, 6 to the 4th is 1296. X to the 12th and x to the 20th. X to the 32nd, z to the 4th, and z to the 8th is z to the 12th. Put 81 over 1296, math frac. That simplifies to 1/16. And then leave your variables alone and just rewrite them as is. Alright, so that's kind of one of the more crazier problems, just combining all of our exponents, making things work step by step. Not so bad. Follow those 8 rules and you'll be alright. Okay, I'm going to leave you one to try on your own. I'll be checking your notes on Friday in class. So please be sure to have this problem complete, and you'll get your full points. Y to the 4z all to the 0 power. Alright, so get number 8 done. Make sure to have it before you get to class, and we'll see you then. Goodbye.